California coast, and we have just a little over 200,000 residents. Located on Oxnard, on California's beautiful central coast, the city of Oxnard is home to the California Strawberry Festival, neighbor to the breathtaking Channel Islands National Park and Channel Islands National Marine Sanctuary, Naval Base Ventura County, which is comprised of Naval Air Station Point Mugu and Construction Battalion Center Port Hueneme, two separate facilities under one unified command. We also have the Port of Hueneme adjacent to us and miles of beautiful beaches and the Halaco Superfund site in our community. As the city of Oxnard grew in the early 1900s, I don't think we fully recognized the beauty and importance of our coastline. And as we were first developing, that was considered an outlying area that no one really desired to live in or visit or anything else. So we tended to locate things there that, you know, in today's standards we would not do, but they're there and we have to deal with them. So the importance to us is the opportunity to restore this beautiful wetland area to its original habitat, its original state, and remove the Halaco Engineering Company, which is detrimental to our environment and to our community. That engineering company operated a secondary metal smelter at the site from 1965 to about 2004 and recovered a variety of materials through the smelting process, including aluminum, magnesium, zinc, so on and so forth, from scrap metal they took into the facility. The original site contains about an 11-acre primary site and a 26-acre secondary site, which is the site of what we refer to as a slag heap. The residual products that were left over from the smelting process that were stored and deposited on that property. During its 40 years of operation, Halaco produced a large quantity of waste, which we're now trying to deal with, and a lot of residual metals in there that are just not conducive to good health or well-being of the community. I'm kind of a visual person, so what I'd like to do is give you a comparison of the enormity of what we're talking about. And I selected the White House as a comparison, not in disrespect for that office or anyone that works there, but I wanted to give a visual idea of what people would see if they were looking at our slag heap in comparison to something everyone recognizes. And the White House itself has a footprint of about 0.33 acres, stands about 70 feet tall. And generally, when people look at it, they know what they're looking at and they understand and they visualize how big that is. Well, the Halaco site is about 40 feet in height, but covers about 4.39 acres in terms of a footprint. So you're looking at something that is about 13 times bigger than the original White House and 2/3 again as tall as the original White House. So it's a pretty monumental piece of material that we're trying to eliminate from our community. Ultimately, Halaco abandoned this site and filed for bankruptcy, leaving about 700,000 cubic yards of material in the waste management area. And that's what we're talking about, is the waste management area adjacent to the original Halaco site. And that's why I use the visual of the White House. Just 700,000 cubic yards is hard for me to grasp in terms of a visual picture, but now that you have something to compare it to. This site has elevated levels of aluminum, barium, beryllium, cadmium, chromium, copper, lead, magnesium, manganese, nickel, and zinc, to name a few. The problem with this site is that it is over a natural resource area, our water table, and through natural effects, a lot of these items are filtering into our groundwater, into our ecosystem, and even into the ocean. This site is right on the ocean front in Oxnard, in the Ormond Beach wetlands area. Unlike other coastal communities, Oxnard has been an industrial dumping ground for polluting industries and actual dumping of toxic waste for many, many years. This includes 2 older power plants, one on either end of the city, so we are bookended by 2 gas-burning, antiquated power systems that you can see from miles away. The stacks are over 150 feet tall. And it's sad to have those 2 landmarks for the entrance or the gateways to our community from either side. Approximately 17% of the people in our city live below the poverty level. And our community is comprised of about 75% Latino population, 37% foreign-born, and that includes many of the farm-working population because we are a very large agrarian-based community, and a lot of our economy comes out of the agrarian system. Less than 15% of the population in our community holds a bachelor's degree. In our region of Southern California, it's estimated that 1 in 4 children live in poverty, and many of these families that live in those poverty conditions live in the area immediately adjacent to Halaco. I apologize, it looks like I'm out of time already. I'm sorry, sir.
wrap that up real quick?
I will. I didn't realize how short a time it was. In closing, I would just like to thank Congresswoman Brownlee for the wonderful opening comments on behalf of myself and my city, you, the committee. I'd also like to thank Senators Feinstein and Barbara Boxer and the County of Ventura for being excellent partners in helping us to proceed to the future and correct this problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Ms. MacDonald, I have driven through Oxnard on many occasions and noticed the old Halaco plant I drove through and for many years, and I have friends that live in Oxnard, and I know that's been a thorn in your side for a long, long time.
Yes, sir, it has.
And that's going to be expensive to move. I know we had the slag material by the old Fontana steel plant for many years, and they were able to figure out a way, I'm not quite sure how, but to use it as road-based material and other things often, you know, I don't exactly know how they did that, but they were able to get rid of a lot of that material, even more material than you had. That was where they made the steel for the Liberty ships that were constructed in Long Beach during the war. But we appreciate that testimony. We'll take it into account. And Mr. Holman, I know radon has been an issue in front of this committee. We have really a nonpartisan issue here. We're all concerned about that. It affects certain parts of the country more than others, as you're aware, and education is a big part of this. The way they construct homes nowadays, too, is a big part of it. They don't have the breezeways like the old timers. They knew something we didn't back in those days, and knew that how to build things. But I'm sure that when we start crunching the numbers, we'll try to make sure that we look at that issue very closely.